Hey guys, we are back at Fanimation, the place that dreams are made of if you dream about fans. And I think I'm the only one here. We're going to do an updated video tour. So we're in the lobby. The lobby is known for its enigmas. And I quite accidentally, when I was coming in here, found the switch that turns the enigmas and the lights above them on. So we'll turn them on in a second. When I came in, this Avastin was already on, or Avastin, I'm not sure which it is. I can't find the remote for it. It's probably on FanSync. When I came in, this Zonix was not on, so I must have accidentally found the switch for it. But I don't know what that is. We'll see here. These are just lights, I think. That's those recessed lights there. This is the hallway. And then back here, those. So we'll see what we can find as we do our tour. Yeah, I really don't know. We'll come back and do the air shadow in a second, but I'll show you at least where I found the Enigma switches, which is just this switch here at the top of the stairs, which I've probably turned on a zillion times since I've been here not knowing what it did. So let's... And you can see there's a little blue pilot in those as well. So I don't think either of these is the... I don't know what this does. We'll see if that turns off the thing downstairs. This is these hall lights. Unless this is the bullpen. Is that the bullpen? Yeah, that's the bullpen. So I don't know how I got the Zonix on. I haven't played with any remotes yet. Here are the Enigmas. Let's put them on high. The bottom one's on high. Take it to. Okay, the bottom one looks like it's not responding. They move some air, I'll tell you that much. I'll have to try off. I'm just going to hit it a zillion times, because who knows. Lights are having trouble starting, probably because they've been on, off all morning, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what that switch did. So we'll leave them on for now. Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of this here. This light has been on most of the time I've been here. I haven't seen this fan run. So who knows? Oh, I'll plug in the cool fountain. Only Tom Frampton would have something like that made. Yeah, they're all slowing down. So, I like the air shadow. So we'll do a demo mode for the air shadow. And that one there, the light will eventually come on, I think. How are we doing over here? Yep, they're all slowing down, but it takes a while. I always forget to do this conference room here when I do the tours. It hasn't changed that I know of. But let's see. Lights. Lights. How do I get both? I don't know how to get both. Let's try high. Yeah, that's both. I know I would start with low, but I want to just make sure that they worked. There's got to be a way to get both lights. There, but that one's dim. There we go. Oh, I lost it. Both on bright. I knew I could do it. Low. These actually are they're not too loud on low. It's a good speed for them. These are loud fans, just from the air that they move in such a small space. Medium's pretty loud. And high. They move a lot of air though for a small fan. Let's set it down. This is the room where they have meetings with anybody that's not from Fanimation. Like if somebody they're coming here to pitch someone, or someone's coming to pitch something to them, they often have them in this conference room. Looks like that one's going to stop first. Okay, there's a bunch of motors over here. Here's taking apart motors so you can see the quality. I wonder if that's a competitor's motor that's here for reference. So you can see, look, theirs are cheaper. I don't know what this goes to. It's not DC, I don't think. I don't know. Well, I have some things to learn. Okay, that's this conference room. How are we doing out here? Try to do the same thing with both. First of all, have we finally stopped in the Enigmas? Yes, we have. So let's turn them back to low. That's where they belong. Low, I say to you. Low, bottom, and stubborn one. There we go. I'll put them up back here. The lights are finally on. And I don't know what I did. It's on a different speed now. So it must be on the same frequency as something else, but what? Okay, let's how do you get that other light on? I know there's a way to do it. There we go. Low. Wait a second, is this off or is this... This is off. Could it be on the Enigma remote? Could it be the same? What is the Enigma remote? Is this plugged in? Of course it is. Low. Low, low, low. Low, 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 low. No, not that. Only on the other one I played with was the Beckwiths. Let's see here. Low. High. Nope. It's not responding to that. Did I turn a switch off and that switch was that? Lights. These switches are all on still. On. On. Well, let's continue with the tour, but I'm going to get to the bottom of that. I want to know. Somebody teach me how to Xonics. So I've showed you before, but we'll just remind you that it's here. Jana's office has the air shadow in the exposed mechanics version. That's pretty cool. That's just low, high, off. I've already done a video where I go through it completely. I'll figure you out, Xonics. So, here's the break room, but there's been no fan in the break room since the first time I was here. First time I was here, there was one there, and they took it down, and haven't put it back up since, and I don't know why. So, what else we got? Okay. Here's an office with a Levant. Let's see if it is ready to go right now. Nothing from the wall control. Anyone that can't be controlled is probably on fan sync, and then the person who works in that office has it on their phone. So, no luck with the Levant in here. Let's see, in here there's this thing. Let's see if there's a remote. Oh, it's coming on. I don't see a remote, so not sure how that's controlled. Because if it's fan sync, would it come out of the switch? I suppose it would if it was left on that speed last time the power was disconnected. Oh, for that slow of a speed, I feel some air from it. That's probably the fan. Since we haven't tested this one before, we'll let it spin down a little bit. Is this Denise's office, maybe? Okay. Here is one of these guys. I don't know what they're called either. This is in the accounting office. Let's see if I can spot a remote. I don't spot a remote. I guess they could be in drawers. I don't want to go through people's desks. If it's just sitting right on top, that's one thing. But otherwise, I'm not going to dig through somebody's stuff. I do not see any remotes. So we'll just see which switch is the fan. That one. I like the finish on this. I don't really care for the design. It's just a standard modern fan design. But that finish is very nice. You can just tell it's a quality finish looking at it. I think, what is that? Satin nickel or chrome? Or chrome is coming back. Fanimation is doing a lot of chrome, or polished nickel possibly. It's a little bit yellower than chrome. Taking a while to spin down here. I try to wait for it to spin down if I haven't filmed it before, but I don't know how much time to spend. Okay, I think their lights are off. Let's turn the lights off. And the brewmaster. It's on odd control though. It's high. Low. Does it work on low? This is not a standard brewmaster control. Yep. Off. I said off. Off. I don't think this was here the last time I filmed the offices, so somebody has changed their fan. Wonder how often that happens. I wonder if you can just put in a request, like, yeah, I want a different fan. Okay, nobody I don't think works in this office. Let's see if I have a key. Not that one. There we go. Wow. Holy low-hanging fan. If I even try to turn this on, okay, it'll work, but is there a remote for it? I don't see how I'd even be able to find it if there was. It's oh! So this is where they take a picture of the fans for the catalog. There's your backdrop. That's why the fan is low. And look at all the lighting. Interesting. So it's probably not hooked up. Well, the light maybe. Here's a remote over here. See if I can get to it. Yep. The light is not working. I got that absolutely wrong. There's low. Here's medium. Here's high. Ouch. What was the light trying to do there? Oh, it's a fluorescent light. Move some air. Off, I say. I give you the command of off. Make sure I pull my keys out of this door, otherwise I'll leave them there and not know where they are. Pretty close there. Onyx is growing on me. A lot of these Fanimation fans, as a vintage fan collector, when I see them in pictures, I'm like, eh, it's too new. And when I see them in person, I'm like, that's cool looking and you can tell it's quality. Honestly, something just looking like it's quality made goes a long way. Like the construction of the housing and the finish is just... I wonder how long we'll be Xonixing here. I'm about done with Xonixing, but it's not. It's got some more Xonixing to do. I wonder why the Xonix is the last fan they took a picture of. I'm sure there's a reason. Okay, we're about to stop, thank God. Okay, other than the museum, which we'll get later, because there have been a lot of changes to the museum on both floors, I think the only thing left on the ground floor is the R&D lab. And I did a video in here yesterday where I showed all the fans, but we'll still come in here again as part of the tour. So, there was this Odin in here. If I can find the remotes, I'm going to turn everything on low. And that one I couldn't find the remote to. This one used the pull chain, high, medium, low. This one... This one... I said low. It worked yesterday. There we go. This one. And then, I think that's, did I run this thing in here? I don't remember. I don't think so. I don't think I can find a rod for it. But as you can see, that's everything in the R&D lab. You know what? I'm a rebel. Let's turn everything to high. Don't tell anybody I did this. There's high. I'll wait on that. That Odin office doesn't need to be because we can't see that anyways. That Beckwith's still on high. Okay. Medium, low, off. Off. Most of these are DC. I guess the lab guys really like their DC. Off. Off. And while we're waiting on those to spin down, I'll turn this Odin off before I forget. The DC fan stopped very quickly. Is that still on? Did you not take your off command? Do as you're told. It's like my kid. Yeah, the DC fan stopped quickly, but that's not DC. And in here, more offices really take some sort of service phone calls. I'm not sure specifically what. And a big fan there. I showed it yesterday on speeds. So yeah, if you want to see me spend more time with the fans in here, I've got a specific video for that. You can go check that out. Okay. And the Zonix is still off. What could have possibly turned it on? Where's my coffee? That's another important question. When I came in here, I had a cup of coffee. Where did I set it? Okay. So this could not have anything to do with the Zonix because that did not do anything for these. Did that affect the Zonix? No! The Enigmas are off, but the Mercury lights are still on. Much confused. Now I don't know how I turn those things on. I clearly did it. Well, it's not the most important part of the tour. So we'll worry about that later. I don't know this woman's name. She's very nice. I think she's Nathan's assistant. This work? Nope, it's got a DC remote down here. Oh, uplight. Well, isn't that cool? Did everybody get the downlight on? Huh. Neato. Low. I don't know what this is called. I call it a cool fan. It's a 6-speeder, but we're just going to do low and high. Maybe I'll come back and do a video where I show everything. 6 speeds means DC. And DC means that they move it. I've not met a DC yet that did not move as much or more air than a standard K55 type fan, for what it's worth. Okay. Let's stop it. We'll come back to that. Well, DC doesn't take that long to spin down. I guess we can do do that quickly. And we'll come back to it. It is taking a little while. This is Nathan's office, the president of Fanimation, and Tom's son. And he has changed his fan. This is something I like much better than what was there before. So let's stop it. Stop, I say. Why you no stop? It's powered on, but otherwise does not respond to the remote. Are there fans synced for DC fans? Is it not a DC fan? It just says it. Maybe that's what it is. It's not, because they have pull chains. It's not a DC fan, but it's on DC wall control. Let's say that's off. Let's just see. Nope, low. That's off. High, medium, low. Let's assume that's low. Yeah, this is not my favorite finish, but I really, really like the Levant. I did not like it when I first saw it. Now I want one. Okay, that's low. We're going to assume that's off. Let's make sure. High. Okay. Power off. Maybe I'll do a video more accurately going through the speeds. We'll see. This is the office with the disassembled fan that is still disassembled, but does it run? Now with this wall control, is there a remote? No, but I see fan sync, so I bet you it's on fan sync. They're testing something, maybe fan sync. Say fan sync can. Here's one of these embrace huggers in this office here. There we go. Low. High. Oh, Tom Frampton is here. Wonder what he's doing here. I was the only one here for a while. I always like it when there's somebody else here, so I have to go up and down ladders and scaffolding and stuff. There's somebody to call if I fall. Hasn't happened yet, but you know, you always want to be safe. Okay, next up we have the bullpen. And I went through a video going through all these fans, but I wish I could find the remote for the Torto there. I love the Torto. But we'll turn them on low at least. Thought this one worked. Maybe not. Low. Ouch. I could have sworn I got this one to work yesterday. Am I crazy? Yep. Then I think this one was the next one I got to work. And I know I got this embrace to work. What about this one? I don't remember. As a fellow fan collector would say, I slept since then. No, I think that's it. There's the bullpen. All the fans on low there. Here's the display room, board room, conference room. This switch just turns those two on, and I haven't been able to find a remote for that one there. I did find a remote for this. Is that a big island, maybe? I'll do a separate video going through that on the speeds. I thought I did that yesterday, and I'm pretty sure I forgot, but... there it is on low. And then we had some more offices here. I know we've seen this one before. I just wanted to point out the Enigma is still in Ed Frampton's office. Is there something on there? No, that's a screw that I never noticed before. And this is what, John Wirt's office, maybe? And this thing's still here. Is it gonna spin? Yep. It's got a DC motor, and I think we found out last time this was on FanSync. So we couldn't figure out how to, And then last but not least, we have the office of the great Tom Frampton, the legend himself, who started Fanimation when he was very young. The brewmaster is still here. How many speeds? 3. I don't really notice much of a difference. So that's the grand tour of Fanimation, excluding the warehouses and the museum. And we'll get those in a little bit. So thanks for watching. Hey guys, we're back at the Fan Museum at Fanimation. We're going to tour the lower level. There have been a lot of changes made to the lower level. Some of them are more subtle than others, so let's take a look. So, first of all, we have the lobby here with the air circulators and the possibly Schneider and Carr belt fans. I'm not really sure who made them, but they're old. So, I think all the air circulators are the same, but let's take a look. I love that roto beam, similar to the one I had in my shop for a while. I would definitely like one for myself by the chance. Either the roto beam or this Eskimo is my favorite of the air circulators. I just really like the design of that Eskimo. I think that's cool. I love this big Westinghouse. I don't know what these are called, but I love it. No, it's just an auction number. A lot of these Tom buys at auctions. Super Air Screws. Well, that's a name. I know I've showed you these before, but they're pretty cool, so let's try them again. Old Gus there cranks the fans for us. There's not any hidden motor or anything like that. Okay. So here into the main area. one of the things that's new is this fan chair designed by Benjamin Franklin, and part of this is a replica, but basically Tom's gonna redo the parts of it that have been refinished and stuff like that so it looks more original. But basically you push on this while you're sitting in the chair and you get a breeze. And it predates pretty much anything, you know, any other type of fan other than a hand fan, so that's pretty cool. This is another new thing over here. This is a sewing machine fan, and you operate that. How do you? Tom did it yesterday. I should have got him to show me how to do it. You operate the sewing machine with your foot, and then it operates the fan, and it cools the person working next to you. So, I guess if you're the person on the opposite end, you're out of luck. You've seen this before if you've been to the museum before, or you've seen my videos before, but I still love it. This GE on a pedestal. We've tested this a few times. Oh, it's a lot of air. It's Tom on American Pickers. The piano. I love Tom's sense of humor, and if anybody has actually seen the movie Casablanca and understands it, you might get this. So one of the songs the player piano plays is As Time Goes By, and Tom here has the original letters of transit used as a prop in the movie Casablanca, as well as the original Bogart passport. Again, this is the prop from the movie Casablanca. Is there a way to, Bogart's picture is in here somewhere, but maybe not. Rick Blaine. That's the actual prop from the movie, and he normally keeps it hidden inside the piano. If you don't understand why that's cool, watch the movie. So let's just scan through some of the stuff on the shelves. There's so much that I can't even keep track of what's new and what's been here. But Kim Frank, who I think has appeared in some of my videos, has added a ton of his personal collection. This, of course, is cool. This is an old humidifier that Kim Frank restored. This is a custom-made fan that Kim made out of a radio. See, there's one blade in the front, one blade in the back. It's supposed to pull the air in from below, push it out both sides. Cool way to store wall mount fans. Well, you could just mount them to the wall. think this is a lot of Tim Frank's collection. I might be right about this. I think they go in chronological order. No, they don't. But this is probably the oldest one here. That's cool. I don't know what that is mounted on, but it's cool. And of course I love the fern leaf. Huh. It's got a cord with a switch. Do anything? Nope. Not plugged in, I guess. That's the thing of beauty. This has got a cord with a switch too. What does this go to? Nothing. Okay. Well, there's clearly a purpose to this, but I'd be damned if I know what it is. Some of these are plugged in. Let's see what we can do here. Fan with a lamp in it. A lamp with a fan in it, rather. Lamp. Lamp. Both lamps. Fan. Lamp. 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 Fan. I feel like I'm playing Duck Duck Goose. Lamp, lamp, fan. Lamp, lamp, fan. Fan. No lamp? This one moves some air, despite its absence of lamp. Okay. Off. 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 How do we put this lampshade where it belongs? That would make me feel better. Let's see here. Off. Off. These are all infinitely variable speed. That's interesting. Back here. Let's do the shelves now. We'll start here. I do the sides here? I can't remember. I love the silver swan. There's another rotobeam. Love the rotobeam. That's cool. The fans made to look like radios. What was that? Wood-cased fan from 1920s with a swivel-out panel. Well, I'm not going to break it, but cool either way. Can't remember if I got this end cap. I always kind of wanted one of those GEs in the thing there. I like this Westinghouse. It's a Tesla. I like that Emerson there too. Parker blade. Huh, an all brass one. The whole thing is brass. Cracker Wheeler. I don't know if any of my desk fans would be worthy of the museum, but if I had anything that was worthy, they could certainly have it. Well, I got one upstairs. They got a circulator upstairs of mine. Should see what box fans I have that are in good shape and bring those. Okay, and last but certainly not least, oh, that's a cool motor. Look at that. That's not electric. That's powered by what? Water? I love how everything had to be ornate back in the day, regardless of what purpose it served. Okay, well, certainly my favorite part. We're going to do the ceiling fans now. Has that blade always been broken? Or is that a recent break? Eventually, all of these belt... Oh, there's one up there, too. All of these belt drive fans are going to be operated by a water motor. So there's going to be running water in here and spinning fans. And if you don't think that's cool, I don't know what's wrong with you. I love this little thing. I don't know what it is and what those stencil blades are doing on it, but I love it. A lot of belt drives, a lot of airplane fans. I have no particular attachment to airplane fans, but I can see why people think they're cool. I've always wanted a gyro. Downstairs we have the real thing, and upstairs we have the replica. This might be one of my favorites right there. Turret, adjustable. That and these hatbox fans like the Peerless here. That's a very beautiful sidewinder. Actually, this might be my favorite here. This R&M. I love those too. Pretty sure it's an R&M. Did I show you the little 6-blade? Yeah, I think we got the 6-blade friendly, but those are cool. Did the GE. This thing Tom made at Casablanca. I don't even know what it is really, but it's cool and I want it. Let's put a quarter in the player piano, see what it plays. It's not going to shut off. I'll come back later and make sure it's shut off. I don't know if anyone has noticed these little displays here. For our next video, we'll head upstairs. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, we're going to do an updated tour of the warehouse at Fanimation. So let's go on ahead in. First, when you enter in this way, you get to the custom fan area. We'll talk about that in a minute. First things first, a lot of people like to look at or try out this can arm that's installed over that. So we're going to do that first so I can show you the other stuff while it's spinning down, since the spin down takes a while. So the control for it is here. Let's turn it on low. And people have asked me, why are there can arms in the Fanimation warehouse? Well, at the time, Fanimation didn't make industrial fans. I'm going to turn it a quarter of a turn to medium low. Did I show you the control? There it is. So the Vice President of Operations, Ed Frampton, says he literally picked up an industrial supply catalog and just picked a fan at random. I thought that was pretty funny, given I'm sure he'd hate if his customers picked fans at random. He wants them to pick the best fans, which are Fanimation. Turn a quarter of a turn to medium high. That's the air compressor discharging. And then high. It's a little noisy. At this height, you'd almost think a straight bladed fan would be better. I'm not sure why they picked a curved bladed fan for here. The other ones in the warehouse are straight. I think there's 3 or 4 others. There used to be 5 others. I'm not sure how many they removed when they remodeled the warehouse. I feel some air from it though. Okay, so while that's spinning down, here is the custom fan building area. This was Mario's workstation before he retired. He worked here since this place opened, I think. And Ray took over. And a lot of tools, drill press, saw, other saws, grindstone, wire brush. There's some Bourbon Street pulleys, workbench. There's the fan, by the way. Cabinets full of parts, capacitors and stuff in there. Tools, wire. I don't even know what this big thing is. I've walked past this every day and never even noticed it was here before. Something, wow. That's cool. I don't know what it is, though. This is a big giant fan that Tom bought for the museum. He likes anything that's a fan, no matter how random. This is the motor for it. It runs on compressed air. That's the blade. Still spinning down. And, yeah, a lot of great tools back here. This is where they balance the Enigmas, I believe. Here's the main power station. More parts. More parts. I raid these parts bins when I need screws and capacitors and things. There's the storage room outside the museum. There's the air compressor. We're still spinning down over there. So we'll move over here. We'll look back at it. Here's another station. I'm not sure exactly what they do to Enigmas here. They do something to them. Palisade testing station. Okay, that can arm is still there. I know they removed one of them. How's this one doing? Still spinning down. Well, we're gonna move on. We got a big tour. So aisle after aisle after aisle of beautiful Fanimation products. The lights are now on motion sensors, if you haven't noticed. Let's take a look at this can arm here. I know you guys, at least some of you guys, really like the can arms. Let's see, the control for it used to be right here. Low. Medium low. These really don't do much until you get them to high. Medium high. So the aisles in the warehouse are much narrower. Not sure if you can tell. I guess we'll look at that while it's spinning down. I feel some air from it now. Let's turn it to high. Let it get up to speed. The aisles are much narrower in the warehouse. There's no big, huge aisle in the center the way they used to be. Apparently it's a lot more efficient, both in terms of space and finding what you need. Everybody's very pleased with it. I don't feel quite... Okay, directly underneath it I feel some air. Let's turn it off. While it spins down, let's go look over here. Piles of stuff. This is the guy whose job it is to process the returns. What's his name? Logan. It doesn't... I don't remember Logan, but okay. Maybe that is Logan. So this is how much scrap bin fills up in a week, and I've been told this was a light week. There's a bronze Beckwith, a couple Zonics, a couple wind points, a lot of mounting brackets. I wish I would have known those mounting brackets were there. I've been using lots of mounting brackets. Of course, I don't know what's wrong with those mounting brackets, so maybe there's a reason they're not to be used. Same mounting brackets again. And here's some random stuff there. You can see the old Bourbon Streets or whatever they were called. Tom, they had a different name back then. Tom told me what it was now. I can't remember it. So and down this way. I don't know if I've ever taken you down this way before. Lots of blades here. I don't know what that is. Air shadows, love those. Sure is dark when you look through it this way. Look at that. I got stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. I got an aisle you can walk under. That's pretty impressive. A lot more efficient. So over here is where Tom Frampton works. I believe he does something with the palm leaf blades. They come partially made and he finishes making them or something. I'm not sure. But here's his station. You can see that's about the right size for a palm leaf blade. And I didn't know TPI made big fans. Blade. Let's see if this is plugged in. Power it on. Yep. Is that high? That's pretty powerful. Medium, low, off. Cool. So here are the back offices for the warehouse and bathrooms. There's even a shower back here. I've talked about rather than getting a hotel, sleeping at Fanimation while I'm here and just showering here, so maybe one of these days I'll do it. Okay, we'll let that spin down as much as I'm going to. Remember I told you they'd removed one can arm. There it is. Why it's sitting here I don't know, but that's where it's sitting. The down rod's about as tall as I am. What's in here? I don't remember. Oh, the shower. Not a Fanimation product. Men's room, women's room. I think this is the warehouse break room. Let's find out. Yep, I've never been back here before. They got a grill. They got a couple of these little wall mount Fanimations. I don't know what they're called. Fan of the turn. I don't know what they do with that. Medium, low. It's got a quiet low. Off. Yeah, Urban Jet is kind of a loud low. These are great. These are quiet and everything. I don't know what this is. National Ceiling Fan Day Awareness Party. Well, that's funny. Here are the offices back here. Was that closed, I think, when I got here? Here's the offices back here. Got one of these two-bladed things here. I don't know what they're called. It's right here. Let's try it out. Low. Medium. I don't know what these are called. I swear I've seen the box for them, but high. Is that high? Hitting high. Doesn't seem very fast for high. Medium and high seem about the same. Maybe the high button is broken. This remote is clearly kind of old. Moves a little bit of air though, I'm feeling it. It's not a huge amount of air, but it's more than it looks like going at that speed. I don't know who works in this office. I never really have to be back here. And here there's an Enigma. I couldn't figure out how to get it on, so I'm not going to bother trying again. It's probably on fan sync, and I don't have fan sync. And even if I did, I can't use my phone and film with my phone at the same time. This person has a stand fan, but no ceiling fan. Poor them. Okay. So let's go out here. So here are the other can arms. Here is Jansen Station, and I can't remember the guy's name that packs fans. He's got a beard. So let's find the control. There it is. Now, I noticed earlier the forward reverse switch on this is wired backwards. So I've got it set to reverse, but it's actually forward. Buggers are noisy. We gotta replace these with extensions. It's low. Here's medium low. Medium high. This control, the low speed trim, is set much higher than the other two controls. I came in the other day and they were on in reverse, and I wondered why they were reversed, and now I know it's because the person who turned them on probably didn't think to look at the direction, they just trusted the control. High. There's literally no reason to reverse them at this ceiling height. None. And if they don't believe me, I'll get Tom to tell them. Where's the other one there? I feel the air from them though. They do move some air. Okay, while they're spinning down, I'm gonna reverse them first of all. So here's the fan packing station. Anything that doesn't already come packed or needs to be repacked, they can pack it here. Forklifts, many forklifts, all the forklifts. Over here, we'll go look at the paint booth if you haven't seen the paint booth already. I don't think anything over here has changed since the last video. There's a wood saw back here. Painting Enigma blades. Painting a Fargo or whatever those things are called. Paint booth. Well, that's cool. I wonder what that's doing back here. The last time I came here, I spent a day in this paint booth, and oh boy did I hate it. It's great to have a paint booth, but that's not how I wanted to spend my day. Another air compressor. Boxes. How are the fans doing? There's the blade from that Fargo or whatever that desk fan is called that has the unusual blade. There's the cage, so clearly that's what they're working on. Oh wow, they're doing all kinds of colors there. Looks like that one over there is going to stop first, the one by the packing station. That one's going to be first, the one by the paint booth is going to be second, and then the one in the center is going to be third. Alright, first one stopped. Well, these two are neck and neck, but I think I'm going to go with my initial prediction. Feels much later than it is. I'm very tired. This has been a lot of work this week, but it's been worth it. I've had a great time. The final project is really cool. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll see it soon. Okay, that one's clearly about to stop. And this one's still going. So I nailed it. I'm going to reverse them because I'm sure people want to see them in reverse. And then after that, we're going to finish up the tour. We're almost done. We have just one more trip through the warehouse. So forward, low, even though this is technically reverse. Again, the switch is wired wrong. I should go in there and fix it for him. But I'm tired. Man, those things are noisy. We'll just do 3 speeds. We'll do a medium. And we'll do a high. Alright, you can still feel air moving. It's not nearly as much, but you can feel it. Okay, let's see what happens when we reverse them while running. And off. Okay. All kinds of Fanimation products. Some I recognize, some I don't. They've introduced so many products. And they're not all sold through the same channels either, so who knows all what they have. This is where I come to scrounge for parts in the warehouse for my museum project, so you can find a lot of things here. So this is the parts aisle. You can see there's all kinds of random fitters and parts, canopies and light bulbs and mounting brackets, and so dark aisle again. Switch housings. So I've used a lot of these parts in the museum project. If I need something, if Jansen's here, I always find Jansen, because he knows right where everything is. It takes me forever to find it. He can find it in about 30 seconds. So, okay. We've come one complete revolution, as it says on this box, and we're back where we started. So, there's a lot more Fanimation to see, and a lot of it's changed since the last set of videos, so keep watching. Okay guys, you ready to go on upstairs for the tour of the upstairs? Here's the stairwell. As you'll see, there are advertisements all lining the walls. A late 70s Casablanca display on the ceiling. Ignore the scaffolding, that's just left over from the project. Small battery-powered and automotive fans along the ledge. Ignore the missing security light. One of us will put that back eventually. Okay, and now we're here. So let's look at the stuff on the ground first. These funeral parlor fans have been there. Casablanca display. Mathis coolers, hand fans, Fanimation Arden, I think it's called. I'm told that all of the floor displays will be changing soon, so it's part of the reason why I'm getting a fresh video. Some kind of strange, oh, it's a part of a sewing machine fan. Some hassock fans, some table fans, some fan lamps. One of these Fanimation things, I don't know what they're called. It's got an H and a fish on it, a swordfish, so that's interesting. Fanimation Brewmaster ad. Urban Jet. More Mathis coolers and wooden fans. A Fitzgerald. Some of these things, I've seen these in commercial buildings. I don't know exactly what they are called. Here's the contraband fan section. He's made these fans here. You can see them demonstrated in my videos with Connor. A couple GE twin window fans. Hallmark cooler. That big thing, cage thing, I don't know what that would be. Betty Boop standing over a fan grate. This super cool double Westinghouse that I really want. My Skin to Light. Another one of those H things. Century that needs to hang downstairs. I don't know what's going to happen with this New Orleans. Tom bought it for here. Actually, I found it on Craigslist. I was going to pick it up. The guy stood me up. But it was here in Indianapolis, so I asked Tom if he could pick it up for me, and he did. And it's sat here ever since. So I really don't know what the plan is for it. Dyson, Tornado stuff. The hassock fan uses a prop at the Perry Mason show. Can you see it in the picture? More hassock fans. Heater hassock fan. One of those H things. I like that little Westinghouse there. Gas-powered fan over the Fanimation talk show setup with the fan lamp. Yet another one of those H things. A giant Panama sign. All these pulleys that go to fan systems. The dentist chair with the fan on it. Lots more fan ads. In this box here is a huge Casablanca sign that hasn't been unpacked yet. Brewmaster packing materials. This circulator is eventually going to be hung in the foyer downstairs with the other circulators. More hassock fans. Furnace blower motor. And these Holland-made Nivola fans. They're probably going to get hung up somewhere eventually. Okay. That's everything on the ground level. Let's go back to the beginning. Right, when you walk in the door is pretty much the only fan that Tom specifically got for this upper level, which is a Rejuvenation Fans Heron. And Tom specifically wanted it right here when you walk in. So I had the idea to put it on a 4-foot down rod, and I like how it turned out. It's a really cool fan, moves a lot of air on high. We'll do a separate video. There's a Moss Four Seasons copy made for JCPenney with the same light kit that was shown on it in the JCPenney catalog. These are very rare. There's an ornate Calcutta, aka Sunbeam, aka TPI. Only one I've ever seen with in polished brass. No, I've seen another one in polished brass with these cool tight weave cane blades. Just a really cool fan. For those who like industrials, here's an industrial with a light kit. Sinlix, Dinway, Gulf Coast, Commander, whatever name. Hunter original with the ornate kit, including the wingtip blades, ornate switch cap, etc. This is the Friday fan Zephyr. Tom didn't remember it when I showed it to him. It's an ordinary Zephyr, except it's K55 with a cardboard box and has that really oddball light kit that Tom says was made out of protest on the Friday after Thanksgiving. That's what he said when I showed it to him years ago. When I showed it to him a couple days ago, he didn't remember it. One of the first Fanimation Palisades. Note 3 blades on each side with the hockey puck flywheels. Unknown ornate fan. We don't know who made these. We've been calling them Key Largo for years, but they're not. Note the stencil. Hunter 1930s original in black. Tom picked this out for over the dentist chair. Originally he wanted a blue one, but look at that scenery. So now we like the black. Hunter 1886. Thank you, Mark Castro and Daniel Groundwater, for helping me acquire this. I put it here especially because there's the actual Turek from 1886 downstairs, the 2-blade one, so you can compare. Encon original copy, 36-inch, 6 blades, S-vents, really cool. Okay, we've seen that one before in the old video. I'm just going to skim past the ones that we've already talked about in previous videos. Emerson pedal. This is the earlier version before they were offered with the integrated light kit. I really want to find the integrated light kit for it because I think that looks cooler. I just put this round globe on it because it's very close, you know, but I would like to find the original light kit. Phil Rich, kind of a blender fan copy. We don't know much about them. K63 motor, plastic canopies, reverse pitched, very cool. Emerson TriStar. This is a modern model that they made at the same time as the pedal in the 90s. I wanted one for years and finally found one. It's very cool. It's one of my favorites here added to the museum. Venton Electric Company, or VEC, 48-inch industrial. These were only sold in Mexico. I think one turned up in Canada. I bought it from Craigslist off near the Mexican-Texas border. More stuff that was already there. Progress lighting. I can't remember if these are called the Apollo when they're ornate or not. It's the ornate version, stencil blades. Blades aren't original, but I picked them up for it, and they seem to look really cool on it. They might even be the proper blades for it, I'm not sure. Relight, Airmaster. I really wanted to have a 36-inch one, but I couldn't find the blades. So, this is 56-inch. Not sure what to call this. These turn up American Industries, Calcutta, etc., etc. 6-blade. It's got a 456 flywheel. The tiny little brackets there. It was variable speed, but the switch housing broke in chipping, so I put a replacement switch housing on it. I don't remember. You can. There's still variable speed knob is still on there. So there's still variable speed. 42-inch Newtone slimline with integrated light kit. These were sold to be a low ceiling fan because the light kit removes some clearance, and then the motor is thinner, and there's no lower canopy, and so they're designed for lower ceilings. Can't remember if we figured out the brand on this or not. We call it the turkey vent fan, turkey foot vent fan, or something like that. Somebody gave it a name. Yeah, unknown. Stamp motor, but some cast parts. One of the blade brackets is a replacement. I actually have a full replacement set. I'm going to replace them all one day, but I didn't feel like doing it this time around. Ring fan industrial. These used to be very common when I was a kid, and now you hardly see them anymore. Made by Leading Edge, presumably by China Cold Storage or Weatherite for Leading Edge, and then relabeled Dayton. You can see why we call them a ring fan. So here's a tiny little tat. Fairly common motor and canopy style, but you don't see these in 36-inch wood blade very often. And it was new in box. I thought that was really cool. So this you've seen before, but you may notice it's spinning now. It's thanks to a disco ball motor. Hunter 6-blade Studio Series. These are fairly common, but not common as far as a 6-blade version goes. Here's another one. We don't know who made it. This is a same cast motor that's in Ritz and Progress and Moss and etc. cast iron with a plastic lower canopy that seems like a CEC, switch housing similar to blender fan and Sonair and all those. And I put a genuine Hunter light kit on it. I thought that light kit was really cool. I'm finding out you can't really see these light kits as well with the camera on, so maybe I'll turn the lights off and get a better shot. Here's the golden. Is this golden fan or new fan? I can never remember. But it's got the weird shaped blades that nobody had ever seen before. It came out of the dry cleaners. 56-inch, extremely powerful. Speaking of oddballs, here's the cat with the fluorescent light, Mistral, labeled Mistral. So that's probably the weirdest fan I've ever seen. Homestead Wind 1 polished brass integrated light kit. Not Wind 1, Whisper Fan 1. Did I call it a Wind 1? It's been a long week. Speaking of the wind, here's a Wind 2. They're fairly common, but I just got a lot of requests. People really wanted to see one, and so put one here. Pull chain is not to be touched, hopefully, because these are all operated on remote. Ornate Old Jacksonville. Copper Brone. This is the same OEM as the Progress and the Moss and that Unknown Thing and everything else. It's literally a Moss heirloom in copper finish with an electronic speed control instead of the cardboard box. And one other thing was different. Can't remember what it was, but it literally it's a Moss heirloom except for a few differences. There's a Canadian new fan. So the Canadian ones have some different stuff, including a little mini switch housing on the bottom. Here's a Homestead Mickey Mouse fan. I picked this up on Craigslist on the drive here. Pretty rare. They came labeled from the factory that way. It's got a 4-speed control like the 4-wind. Rubber flywheel. 55 motor. 44-inch. Okay, here's that Mitsubishi. I've been told. I can't read the writing on it because it's in Japanese or Chinese or something, but I've been told it's a Mitsubishi. 36-inch teal industrial from the late 50s, early 60s. Here's a Whisper Fan 2 with stencil blades. Here's the Jab, union made for curved blade industrial. And this is a French gyro fan that Tom picked up. The blades are rubber and the canopies are plastic. We don't know anything about it. We hooked power to it. It didn't run, so we're assuming it runs on 220. So I think that covers all the new stuff. Just kind of walk around and enjoy all the fans. It really does look like there's a lot of them moving, even though of the 100 or so fans that are hanging, it's only what, 20 that are spinning. It seems like a lot. It'd be nice to one day have them all operable. course, we can't do that and have them all operable on high, because somebody would come in here and turn them all to high, and then we'd have a disaster. So let's hit the main switch. And you know what? I have main switches for other stuff too. I'm going to cover that in a separate video. I turned some of the lights back. I don't know what number are the lights. Hey, nailed it. I'm going to turn that skin to light back on because that thing is loud. I'm tired of background noise. And kind of stopped. Fill Rich has stopped. Progress has stopped. VAC has stopped. TriStar has stopped. Ring has stopped. Let's just go walk around and look while the lighting is different. Connor and I were in here the other day making a video. We noticed the fans on this end spin down a lot slower than the fans closer to the door. Seems to be purely coincidental. There's nothing electrically that would make that the case, but Tom and I are still discussing what to do about the cage lights. You can see he doubled them up. And he's going to put LED bulbs in them. Eventually, I'd like to have them gone and have more fans hanging in their place. So the question is, then where does the light come from? Let's take a closer look at the ones with lights. Since the lights are off, we can get a better look. There's the beach ball tat. I keep calling it a tat. It's labeled Mistral, but we know it was made by Tat. Unknown thing with the cool Hunter light. Hunter Studio. Let's get on the other side of the sunlight, get less glare. Not sure if you noticed, I changed the globe on this, so tell me what you think about that. I thought the design on that globe matched the design on the motor housing. What else had a light? My favorite, the TriStar. I don't know if it's technically my favorite in the whole room, but it is one of my favorites. The Patal. Phil. Encon. And the Heron. That Heron is cool. I'm going to get me one of those. Okay, so let's make everything go. I wonder what the buzzing is from. Probably the disco ball motor. Everything start. I gotta make sure nothing's stalled out. looks like it. Okay. Let's get ye old bucket o' remotes. Oh, it's heavier than I thought it would be. Should have planned this ahead rather than trying to carry it in. Okay. So we're going to just turn them on to medium one at a time. That was the Broadway. Okay, here's the Heron. Medium. Did it take? Yep. Okay, what's next? Ritz question mark. That's what I called that, unknown. Yep, that took. What's next? New Orleans. Nope, that's for the hallway. We're going to keep these in Tom's office or something like that when I'm not here, because we don't want them to get lost and we won't be able to control the fans. Progress. That's right in front of us. Medium. I heard that kick on. Wind. Now the wind all the way in the back and the remote is inside a steel canopy, so sometimes it doesn't always react unless I walk up to it. So we're going to put that remote aside. I might have to go up there and actually handle that. Studio 6 blade. Did that take it? Yep. Ring fan. I always hit it a few times because sometimes they don't always take right away. VEC. I heard that speed up. 20th century, that's in the hallway. Relight. That ring really flies on medium. You sure that's medium and not high? Good God. Let's make sure, where is it? Okay. Four Seasons, that's in the hallway. Cambridge, that's in the hallway. That's the last of the hallway remotes. Tat, I think that means the small one. TriStar. Mistral. I don't know if you can see it from this far away. I'm going to turn the light off of the Mistral and then watch it turn back on. We'll get a close-up video of that later. Whisper Fan 1. Some of these really go on medium. Golden Fan. Pedal. Encon 6 blade. 1886. Why is the light off on that Hunter 1930s? Must have bumped the remote. Turn the light back on. We'll turn it to medium. Phil Rich. And everything should be on medium except the Palisade. Let's turn the Palisade to medium. Okay, let's go walk around and look. Heron's on medium. It's definitely on medium. It's definitely on medium. That seems medium-y. So does that. That looks like a good medium. That could be medium. Medium. We've got some action out of the heat cycler there. High. These look like high to me, but they must just be small fans. What's ticking? Something in the golden fan canopy. I might go up there and fix that before I leave. Studio. That also seems like high, but I'm sure it's not. That's clearly medium. Oh, we forgot about the wind. Whisper fan's clearly medium. So let's go back. See how close we have to get to it. I'm just going to keep hitting it. Can't always tell when there's a difference. I don't see a difference. It should have taken by now. There we go. We'll leave that. No, we'll keep it up front so we know what's going on. So everything's on medium. Now we're going to turn everything to high. I want to caution you guys, don't expect that we're going to do this every time you come visit. It's not good to put all of them on a high for a variety of reasons. Be something that has to, first of all, Tom or I have to be here and we have to say okay. So, but I'm going to do it right now via remote. So, you know what? Let's start with that wind since I've got that remote in my hand. Let's go back there again. There we go, I heard it kick on. Huh, Zephyr's moving backwards. That one's moving forwards. This is just medium. What happens when we get to high? Let's find out. Palisade, high. Fell rich, high. Should I turn the light off on fans as I like the lights on. 1930s, high. 1886, high. Making sure I hit it a few times. That one sometimes doesn't react. Encon 6 blade, high. I heard that one. Pedal. Now normally, guys, I need you guys to help me remember and help Tom remember, because we might not necessarily. I don't want to run the pedal on high very much because there's a rubber flywheel. I don't want it to break. So I'm going to do it right now, but when you come visit the museum, please remind us not to put the pedal on high. Same with the TriStar. They're the only two rubber flywheel fans. Okay, those two, the Cambridge and the Four Seasons, are all rubber flywheel fans, so we don't want to run those on high very often. Here's the VEC. Heard that kick on. TriStar. So again, just remind us not to run those on high very often, because you don't want to break the flywheels and then have to see if replacements are available, and it's just, the pedal pull chain is wobbling against the glass a little bit. The Ritz thing. Oh, that really jerked around. Mistral. Yeah, when you can see it jerk, it's easier to know. Golden. Heron. Whisper Fan 1. Progress. Relight. Ring. Tat. This is everything on high. I bet you this video is going to stop pretty soon. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep running them on high. Ah, look at everything that's spinning. And I'm going to start a new video once this one stops. That's going pretty good. That unknown Key Largo thing is going really good over there. The Newtown's going pretty good. Heat Cycler, SMC Laguna in 24 karat gold, the Magic Heat. We got a lot of fans operating that don't have power up to them. The Hunter thing there. The Whisper Fan 2. Let's turn on all the little desky fans and things too. Let's add some more. Let's really run up their electric bill. Take that, Fanimation. I'm going to do a separate video showing you how these controls work. Did I even notice that thing was going before? That patentish unknown thing there? I feel like I didn't even see that one moving before. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it just started. I really like that the Zephyr moves. I don't know why that tickles me so much. Oh, the Avalon's moving. I've never seen that before. This American Industries used to spin when they turn all the fans on high. Why it's not doing it now, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to give it a little push and see if that makes a difference. I keep a fluorescent light tube in here for pushing and stopping blades and things of that nature, because I figure it's less likely to damage the blade. Don't try it at home, though. You don't want to break a fluorescent light tube and upset your parents. Yeah, I had to raise this American Industries up a little bit because it was one of the blades was a little lower. I didn't want to risk breaking the bracket, so I couldn't bend it up, and it kept hitting the Airmaster. Man, it's really hard to pick a favorite. For some reason, I love that Whisper Fan 1. I just think that looks really cool over there. I'm not counting the old stuff that's there already. I'm talking about just the new stuff. Oh, the Avalon.